This was the year to say stop, drop, and go.
Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go.
So I had to come and bring my sister with me because we both need to take care of ourselves. Amen.
Ourselves, we're not good to anybody else. If we don't fill up with what we need, then what are we pouring out into anyone else?
Looking forward to our speakers, looking forward to networking, looking forward to being with everyone at such an exciting retreat.
Learn and go through and change our lives so we can live and live as long as God calls us to live.
Let's all take a deep, cleansing breath.
And so we're going to take a journey in how to reinstate the lives that God has intentionally given us to live.
I want you to really think about those things that you need to just leave behind.
Released our bodies. It made us ready for the day. Our minds.
And bring you to the E factor. Eliminate any negative thoughts. Eliminate those individuals that are in your lives that are trying to hold you back.
There's a lot of laughing, a lot of hugging, and a lot of releasing of what we don't need and being open to what we do have.
The Prince is here right now to help you get your money right.
It is my responsibility to teach every person I talk to at least 1% more than what they already know about wealth building.
This is a special moment.
Not only does God have you, we got you too. So sisters, we got you. And this has been an amazing journey.
We got big days.
Power in numbers.
Powerful. All the big words you can think of, that's what today is.
I am that woman.
Now I want you to take that right elbow and put it down on the knee.
This was definitely refreshing. It opened me up. I feel looser.
That is what being honest to yourself and your journey is about.
I take myself down from the day. Oh, come on, let me put you in my car.
There's a plethora of things to do in the U.S. Virgin Islands.
So happy to be here, and I look forward to hosting it in the U.S. Virgin Islands next year. It has been so inspiring. It was really exhilarating. Can't wait until next year. I want to be in St. Thomas, Virgin Islands.
You don't want to miss it. You want to make sure that you are there with us.
That we will be going to the USVI to St. Thomas next year at the Westin. We already have it being coordinated. Registration will be opening soon. You do not want to miss putting your deposit down and locking it in, because next year is going to be just as powerful as this year, if not even more. So until then, I love you guys, and namaste, and may God be with you.
Well, hello, and happy Friday. I am outside on this beautiful day. Why? Because I'm up in Wisconsin. I am drinking my own Kool-Aid. I am here for the Trinity United Church of Christ Women's Wellness Retreat. I don't know if it's wellness, but I'm going to put wellness in there for their women's retreat. Thank you so much, Angela Faison, who's also one of my board members and dear friend, as well as First Lady Monica Moss. I appreciate the invitation and also appreciate you supporting the I Am That Woman movement by having all of our flyers about the retreat in the registration bags. And so for the ladies who may be from Trinity, if you didn't get it in your bag, you will be getting it soon. So we are super excited and appreciate the support. Well, as you all know, this month is Mental Health Awareness Month. And all month long, every Friday at 4:30 on our conversation series, we have been bringing you major topics about your mental health and wellness. Thanks to one of our other board members, Dr. Algean Garner, who is a clinical psychologist. He put together our series on mental health, and not just mental health, but how mental health impacts our spiritual well-being, which was our show last week with Sydney Studmeyer, who's absolutely amazing. If you didn't see Sydney's interview, go back and watch it. Watch her journey in the white paper that she has that's going to be on our website. This young lady single mother, had her own mental health challenges, and decided to really search and seek spiritual guidance in relationship with Jesus Christ for her mental and spiritual well-being. Great show. And then the week before that, we talked about what is it? What is mental health and what does it mean? And Dr. Algean shared some tips. So go back and watch that show as well. You can watch them on our social media Facebook page or on our YouTube channel, I Am That Woman Movement. And so we continue with today's series. And today we're talking about your mental health and how it's connected to your physical health. So unfortunately, we weren't able to grab our fitness guru, Valerie Tyler, but we know the importance of movement and statistics, which Dr. Garner will share with us today. We'll talk about how your physical movement can and does impact your mental health and well-being. Before we started the show, you already know we have the I Am That Woman retreat coming up in October 2nd through the 6th. It is going to be in St. Thomas this year. It is a journey of self-discovery in paradise. Go to our website, IamThatWomanMovement.org. Even at this retreat, we have been talking, we watched a documentary this morning, and I definitely went straight to those ladies after speaking with First Lady Monica Moss to talk to the directors of that documentary about our community and being well, and how the holistic approach of wellness is so important. A startling statistic they shared with us in that documentary was 40% of African Americans will not be here in 20 years simply because of chronic health diseases. Some of those leading diseases are obesity, high blood pressure, and of course, we know we have very high rates of diabetes. We can also talk about heart disease, cancer. A lot of these things, of course, are genetically related, but a lot of these diseases are simply because of what we are choosing to do and put into our body. And so we'll even be talking about nutrition and the impact of your mental health and well-being with nutrition. But today we're talking about your physical health, because we know that through physical activity, you can improve your mental health. So without further ado, I'm bringing to the stage our special guest today, Dr. Algean Garner. Hello, Doc. How are you?
I am well, and good afternoon and happy Friday to everyone. And the conversation continues, so I am super excited. This is a great topic. Not only is it near and dear to me and my baby, but it is a fact of life that we have to take care of our mental health. We have to take care of our physical health. We definitely have to take care of our spiritual health, mind, body, spirit, mind, body, spirit. If anyone ever meets me in person, I'm going to say that's the first thing coming out of my mouth. Nice to meet you, mind, body, spirit. Because we have to feed all of that, all of those areas with good things, right? And so we have to keep this going. Just as we get into our conversation, if anyone has looked at the news this week, mental health has been at the forefront. I believe there were 2 Miss USA winners that stepped down because of concerns and things related to their own mental health. And applaud to them for doing that, because it is a big decision and it is a healthy decision. And as Grandma always said, that if good decisions were easy, everybody would do them and the world would be a better place. So we have to take care of our mental health. And there is a connection between our physical well-being and our mental well-being, as well as our spiritual. But they work hand in hand, right? And so as I believe it was Newton's first law says that a body that's at rest will stay at rest. A body that stays in motion will stay in motion. So we have to keep moving, whether that is emotionally moving. If you remember my t-shirt from last week, moving forward, we got to keep it moving. We got to keep those bodies moving. And I am not a super numbers person. I love to read it. It drives what I do, but I'm not a super stats person. But what I have found out is that there was a study conducted a couple of years ago, but it looked at surveys from 2011, 2013, and 2015. And it found that on average, participants in that study had about 3.5 poor mental health days per month. So that's stress, anxiety, depression, and on and on. But it found out that in that group, that those who exercised regularly, their poor mental health days dropped by 40%. And I don't think we have to be Einstein to do the math on that. So we need to move. We need to take care of our physical bodies. We need to exercise. Those of you who are in my age group may remember that when infomercials were popular, Susan Powder, I think her name was, she was like, you got to eat, you got to move, and you got to breathe. She hit the nail on the head. So we got to do it. It is very well connected.
It is very well connected. I know you just stepped right in and started talking about how our mental health and physical well-being is connected. But for those who may not have joined the show over the past couple of weeks, tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do, Dr. Garner.
If they don't know me by now. So I am a clinical psychologist by trade, a chef by fun, mind, body, and of course I'm actively involved in my church. So there's a spiritual component. I specialize in doing couples and marital therapy, also parent-child conflict, which is always fun, and also mood disorders. So depression, anxiety, stress management, and of course, which is a hot topic for us every day, diversity, equity, and inclusion. And my other passion is cooking. And I once was a contestant on MasterChef. And Gordon Ramsay has sampled my gumbo and didn't curse me out.
Yes, you are definitely. I think one day you're going to take that to the next level, hopefully this summer even. It is a hobby, and it is a great hobby. You are really, really good at being a master chef. So I know I appreciate your cooking. And as a matter of fact, we have an event coming up. And so I hope you ladies and gentlemen will be joining us at an event where Dr. Garner will be sampling some of his food. More to come on that later. All right, so let's continue talking about today's show, and that is how mental health and well-being, how physical health impacts our mental health. So I know you said you're not big on numbers, but statistics, as you just quoted in that survey, talked about how physical activity, and on average, from what I understand, doctors or practitioners really say that we need about at least 3 times a week, a minimum of 30 minutes or so of physical activity is a good average. We should at least work out or get some type of physical activity 3 times a week. If you can get in 30 minutes, great. As we were watching the documentary this morning, the ladies were talking about, if you spend an hour in your day, that's just 4%, right? 4%. That's what really, really matters. If you want to be concerned about your life, why not spend 4% of your day doing some type of physical activity? Now, there is a correlation between your mental well-being and the endorphins that are released in your body. So mentally, you have stimulation. Mentally, your brain, how you think, the Bible tells us, as a man thinketh, so is he. So correlation between exercising and what happens in your body. Do you want to share any tips about that? Or you have a correlation about that, Dr. Garner, on what happens when you exercise, how that literally impacts your brain?
Yeah. So let's go back a little bit to our first conversation, and we talked about the self-care, those 8 realms or 8 domains. So there's physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, intellectual, environmental, social, and financial. And those 2 key components, that we're going to talk about is that physical and mental health connection. What we do know is that people who exercise, well, let me back that up. Exercise has been shown to be better than medication and talk therapy in staving off mild to moderate depression, right? And so we may wonder why that is. So our bodies, even though we are skin and flesh and bones, we are electrical and chemical, right? So we've got our neural impulses, and then we have chemicals in the body. And you hit on one of those things, endorphins. Endorphins are a natural chemical within the body that gives you that runner's high if you run. It is a natural painkiller. It is a natural mood enhancer. And so runners are actually chasing that. And if you really think about it, things that we put in, external things we put in, alcohol, drugs, kind of mimic that feeling, but it's not the actual thing because it creates other problems. So exercise increases that. It increases our cardiovascular health. It helps the body to be able to regulate the stresses that we are under every day. And so it really just improves the overall functioning of our system. And so without getting too techie, one of the things that impacts us is cortisol, right? Cortisol is a stress hormone. When we are under stress, it's released. It helps the body fight, flight, do what it needs to do. When we are under intensive or extreme stress, that switch stays on all the time, and it never relaxes and begins to cause harmful effects instead of helpful effects. So when we exercise, we are now doing something that helps the body to relax, and it turns that switch off, and the body begins to function and regulate as it normally does. So it brings things back to homeostasis. And that's just a fancy word of saying balance, right? The body is smart, and it will adapt to whatever environment that it's in because it wants to maintain a balance. And so what we have to do is we have to balance our external lives so that our internal life is balanced as well.
Yeah.
So, and what I want to stress, no pun intended, is we don't have to do these crazy CrossFit, crazy marathons, working out 4 or 5 hours a day.
True. Good point.
If that's your thing, God bless you.
Great.
I've had my fair share of those, and I may do another Spartan race later on down the line, but that's not what we're talking about. Mild to moderate, 3-4 times a week, 30 to 45 minutes is all that we need to maintain good health. One of the best, or two of the best exercises that we can do is swim. Not all of us have access to a pool, and I don't think we're going to go to Jackson Park and swim in a lake anytime soon. Or walking. A walk a few times a week does wonders. It is, and as a matter of fact, it's one of the best exercises we can do because it's easy on the joints, doesn't cost anything, and you get to see some great scenery, and you may meet some wonderful people along the way.
Yeah. That is so true. I'm glad that you brought that up because a lot of times we think that we don't have time to go to the gym. We don't have time, to take time out, whether you're a single mom, entrepreneur, corporate America. But what you don't have time to do is not move, right? Because the impact that it has, the lack of movement really does have a negative impact on your mental and emotional well-being. So the more that you move and the more that you sweat and the more that you excrete those endorphins, that helps that cortisol to go down. Because guess what? When you move, there's breathing, right? So it opens up your passages, it opens up your lungs, it opens up your heart, your blood flow. It helps your brain activity. It helps you to focus. And so one of the things that I also want to stress is not only, and I am much better than what I used to be, I will say that, but not only should you get at least 3 times 30 to 40 minutes of workout, but take breaks throughout your day, right? So you're at your computer or you're working, your mind is going. And it's so important to take a break. I did a whole conversation for our industry, the meeting planning industry, went out to Vegas and did a whole presentation on the pathway to wellness, their pathway to productivity through wellness. And so just taking a break, go walk around the block for a minute, take a break, go outside and take your shoes off, walk in the grass, sit out on your porch for a good 15 minutes, however long you can afford to take for that mental health break, right? And so not just making your mind always stay active for those 8, 9, sometimes 10, 12 hours straight throughout the day, but not just regular exercise, but taking a break also really does help for you to become more productive. Are there any things in particular, Dr. Garner? Well, go ahead and say what you're
I was going to say, we have to be creative, right? We live in a world where everything is at our fingertips, right? And it was not like that. My family is from Alabama, and we had a farm, so you had to work, and you had to get up, and you had to feed the cows, and and things like that. So we were constantly moving. So we have to be creative, and it doesn't have to be elaborate. One of the things that I do when I'm being good and diligent is if I'm going grocery shopping or if I'm going shopping, I will park at the far end of the parking lot and walk. That steps right there. Yeah. I will take the stairs instead of the escalator or elevator. When I was younger and much more enthusiastic, after piano lessons, I would race the elevator down to the bottom floor from the 30th floor. Not doing that now. So we have to do those things. Plan out our day as much as we can, because we know that things will do change, so that we can have a moment to walk, so we can take those breaks. If you're able to take 2 15-minute breaks in your day and just go walk, that's 30 minutes of exercise right there.
Yeah.
I'm not endorsing any particular brand, but get a fitness tracker, because when you see it, it's a reminder, and we will be surprised about how much we do or don't exercise in a day. I've had moments where I'm shutting it down and not doing anything on a particular day. I look at my steps and I've only walked 1,500 steps. Yeah. That's terrible, right? So we have to do these little things. It is really setting yourself up for success. And if you have not done 10,000 steps in a day, don't try doing it, right out the box. Set a goal and then, okay, I'm going to beat that goal. There are a lot of other little things that we can do. I like the fact that there's food delivery. It helps. However, I have to remind myself that convenience should not be my main thing. Plus, I like going grocery shopping anyway. But trips to the grocery store. If you have younger nieces and nephews or grandkids or whomever, spend time with them. Those kids will keep you moving. So it's creativity. If you are able to, definitely invest in a stationary bike or a treadmill. Doesn't have to be the $5,000 model one. It can be something simple. I like, especially during the summer, mowing the lawn, right? I got 2 lawns to mow, so that's steps every other weekend. So creative ways like that.
That is so true. Creative ways, and do what works for you. What might work for somebody else does not work for you. So there's avid runners, there's walkers, there's jogging, there's all forms of exercise. I will say that strength training also has been proven to help provide longevity. So if you can put some light weights into it, if you can try and do some things that will help strengthen your bones and your muscles, because as we get older, we know that our bones and our muscles, they change, they get stiff. When we don't move, we definitely get stiff. Our knee joint sitting at our desk all day long. So trying to get those steps in. And I agree with you 100%. If you have a smart watch or a Fitbit or some type of fitness device, your phone, something that tracks your steps, so you know how many steps you're getting. It's great if you're getting in 10, but it is helpful if you look and you see you only got 1,500 in. That means you've been sitting a whole lot. Try and get 6,000 in, try and get 10,000 in, but make it a goal to be mindful about moving your body. And when you move your body, you move your mind. It's so important. There is a connection to how your physical well-being impacts your mental well-being, and how breathing can help, how just exerting your sweat glands and how you open you up. And so any other tips, Dr. Garner, that you want?
As I think about it, I think that we have to look at the benefits of exercise, look at what is it going to do for me. These last few weeks have been very interesting, maybe because we're talking more about mental health. I'm being more receptive to things that are being said to me. And the other day, one of the elders at our church, Elder Banks, we were talking about nutrition and food, and he is an avid vegan, and he talks about it. He loves the series Forks Over Knives, and he saw a post that I put up about, don't worry, carnivores, I'm not switching teams just yet. But what he said to me was, I hope that you will, because I'm selfish and I want to keep you around for a long time because I care about you, right? And that struck me because we don't often think about how our health or lack thereof impacts other people. And so one of the messages, if you walk away, and I hope you walk away with several messages from this series, is that we care about you and we want you to be in good health, because we know from personal experience, whether it's our own injuries or caring for other people, being in ill health is traumatic in and amongst itself for the person going through, as well as a person who's caretaking for them. Let me get off that soapbox because I'll go down a whole nother conversation. We'll do the caregiver.
True. Yes. Yeah. That needs to be a part of this series too. But that is so true. There's a lot of caregivers, and shout out to Sandy Land and Winona Redmond, who are starting to do work around caregivers and their self-care, and especially their mental self-care, because to your point, that can be exhausting, and it's a lot when you're giving out, but you have to be filled up. So I'm going to be like you. I'm going to stop. I'm not going to go down that trail.
And I see this. Yes, Tyree, yoga is phenomenal. Yoga is a great form of exercise. I think that a lot of people shy away from it because historically it has been associated with other things. And so, but in terms of a physical activity, is absolutely phenomenal. And I saw some stats, but I didn't pull them up, but yoga ranks at high on the list of one of those things that we should do. Plus it keeps the body limber, you're stretching, you're building strength. So it's a built-in all-inclusive form of exercise. So definitely highly recommended. So
I agree with that, and I just want to add to that before you move off of that, to your point, especially Christians. Let's just call a spade a spade. I'm here to help try and save lives. And so yoga has been associated a lot of times with a belief other than Christian. But yoga is about stretching your body. It's about breathing. And hey, if you're offended by the namaste at the end, just say amen. But yoga is a form of exercise that helps us to extend our muscles. It helps us to open up our chest cavity, our arms, our legs. And stretching is something that's really important too. Again, in yoga, you can get a good sweat when you do yoga. Some people think that it's because it's not, a strenuous activity, or because it's not something that is aerobic, I guess I should say. Some people may think that yoga isn't something that you get a lot of physical activity in, but it does. It definitely does. So thank you, Tyree, for that question. And 45 minutes of yoga, 3 to 4 times a week or more, absolutely amazing, and definitely will help with that mental state, because at the end, again, being still, quiet, and open is also good for your mental health. So sometimes at the end of a yoga class, they just have you sit and be still and spend some time with yourself. And meditation is so important. Go ahead, Dr. Garner.
And I think we can meditate on the word. I think I've been told that. So we don't have to meditate on the chant, meditate on the word.
Yes.
We are in the world, not of the world, right?
Right.
So I'm so got distracted by the question. So, we have to do those things. So find what works for you. So, but I do want to touch on a couple things, kind of link things together. As we were talking about how physical exercise affects our mental state, our brain. So exercise helps with the levels of chemicals in the brain, such as serotonin, which we know is linked to depression or the lack thereof, stress hormones such as cortisol, as well as our endorphins. All those things change and regulate as we exercise, right? It also improves our sense of control, our own, accepting of our abilities and self-esteem, and helps us feel better. If you are overweight and you look in the mirror and you feel like someone else is following you, 3-4 weeks later after regular exercise, you go, wait a minute, who's that thin person? So you can see the results. Our clothes fit better. Our blood circulation is better. It lowers our blood pressure. All these things help us to feel better physically, which allows us and helps us to feel better emotionally, because we feel good about who we are, right? And you don't have to be the, buff Lou Ferrigno. If that ain't your thing, if you want it, go for it. Nor do you have to be the super thin supermodel on the cover of Cosmopolitan. If that ain't your thing, don't work. Shoot for your goal. Shoot for your best. And think about
feeling good. I'm glad that you brought that point up, because oftentimes we let the numbers on the scale to also really distract us. And so I always say it's how I feel, right? Even if I get on the scale and my numbers aren't where I ideally would like for them to be, if I feel good, that's what's important to me. So sorry, didn't mean to cut you off.
No. That it's a conversation. That's how we roll. I'm looking at the question. So the 30 or 45 minutes of walking does not have to happen all at one time. Not necessarily. I think the minimum to see benefits is 15 to 20 minutes, right? So we can't do one push-up and expect to, have veins and things like that ripping out. So we have to do 15 to 20 minutes. So you can do a couple different times a day, just so that the body is moving, so you can break a sweat and be able to gain those benefits. So you don't have to exercise for 3 hours at a time, 4 hours at a time. No. Interval training, which was very popular and still is very good. Here are some other benefits of regular exercise that impacts our mental well-being: improved sleep, better endurance, stress relief, improvement in mood, improvement in energy and stamina. And I think that is an interesting one, because we don't exercise because we feel tired, but we feel tired because we don't exercise. The body is smart. Just as it knows, it recognizes, hey, they're reducing calories, I'm going to slow down the metabolism. And even though you may have lost weight and then it stops, right? If you are not moving, your body says, well, I don't need to produce more energy, so I'm just going to cut down the metabolism as well. So we've got to push things so that we have that energy. And here's always a fun one. We have increased interest in sex and increased sexual performance. I'm sorry. Hey, we're all adults here, right? So if that don't motivate you, nothing will. But anyway, there's weight reduction and there's reduced tiredness and increase our mental alertness, reduce cholesterol, and improve cardiovascular fitness. So
great points.
When we look at these correlations, when we don't feel good physically, it does affect our mental state. So we have to do these things because it's a win-win on both sides, right? I will be the first to tell you I hate running. I hate it, but I'm challenged by it. And me and my own craziness have done a couple of 8Ks and a couple of 5Ks and a Spartan race. I think it's from the pit of hell, but I feel good afterwards. And I see
you really can feel the difference in your body. You really do feel like you can do it. It may be hard to get started, but just do it. There is a saying, somebody has that saying, and it is for a reason. Just do it. It will help you if you just get there. And let me tell you, if you need a community because you don't want to go to the gym, you don't like being with other people, we have Zoom classes every Monday through Thursday with Valerie Tyler. You can join us. The I Am That Woman movement is a community, and we have men and women in our class. Shout out to Alan Brazil, who's there every single Tuesday and Thursday. So you can join a class for very economical. Valerie has inexpensive classes, and they are for your physical well-being. It's 40 minutes of strength training, but at whatever level that you are. If you can't do the 5 pounds, do the 3 pounds. If you can't do the 10 pounds, do the 8 pounds. So wherever you are, make sure that we are here to help you. Trust you me. If you need a community to work out in, the I Am That Woman movement, we got you. We got you. Reach out to me. I'll give you the information.
Yeah, and all they have to do is take one look at Val to see that it works. It's not selling wolf tickets, right?
I mean, she has an amazing body. And Val, shout out to you. Valerie will be back doing yoga, chair yoga, and regular yoga at the I Am That Woman retreat, October 2nd through the 6th. Go ahead and get your tickets now, ladies. Go ahead and register. Only $500 for your deposit. You don't want to miss this year. It's our 5th anniversary, June 23rd. We are celebrating prayerfully Valerie and some of our other speakers this year will be there. I'm super excited that on June 23rd, a little more than a month from now, we're going to be celebrating our 5th anniversary, my 53rd birthday, because 10 years ago is when this all started. When I was 43, had a private dinner with 43 women who were inspiring, influential, and important in my life, moderated that conversation. And Mrs. Jacqueline Jackson said, Twyler, I think you're onto something and you shouldn't let it go. There's a certain power that happens when you get us in the room and we talk to each other. And I witnessed that power. And a couple of years later, the I Am That Woman retreat was born. And so we are on our 5th one. I'm super excited. You'll be there, Dr. Garner. Tell us why ladies should sign up and come to this year's retreat.
Because I'm going to be there taking pictures. No.
Besides that.
It is a wonderful opportunity to connect with other people who are trying to achieve similar or the same goals as you are. It's about good health. It's about connecting with those who can support you, who can affirm you, who can validate your experiences. And remember, as we talked about throughout the entire series, that we need to know that we are not alone. And if I'm talking to someone who's had a similar struggle, I was like, oh, I now understand. And it now allows me to connect with that person and we can figure it out. It's a great way to get away. Again, we need to take care of that mind, body, spirit connection. And throughout the entire retreat, you will have an opportunity to get that. You get takeaways that not only last for the moment, but for a lifetime, as well as you build those connections. And I am looking forward to it. And so, we want to live long and healthy lives. I am always amazed when I see someone who is well into their 90s and they are living like they're 50, right? And it's scary to see someone who is in their late 50s, early 60s, living as if they are 120, right? So there are key factors in that. We cannot prevent or stop the unexpected, but we can stop those things that we have control over, right? We can exercise to regulate our blood pressure and cholesterol. We can eat right. Right, we can change. We can't do things the way that we used to. At 18, we could probably eat a whole pizza and not blink. Now we look at a slice and there's 5 pounds walking with you. Right? So we have to do that. We have to be creative because I want to have a long life. I want you all to have a long life, but it's the quality, right? As I don't want to be, 67 with tubes running in and out of me and I can't do anything. No, I want to be able to get up and run if I choose to run, ride my bike, and to be okay to enjoy. Plus, I've got, a great niece and a nephew that I want to be able to go to their graduations and go to their events and enjoy them.
Absolutely.
Anyway.
Absolutely. And that's why physical health is so important, to keep our bodies moving so we can keep our minds moving and stay sharp. And so a body in motion is a healthy body. So we are here to help save lives. We are here. The I Am That Woman movement is all about helping you to be more mindful of your mind, your body, and your spirit. So we do that because we know that oftentimes we are really good at taking care of everybody else and not good at taking care of ourselves. And you can't pour from an empty cup. And so we are here on the Conversation Series every Friday at 4:30, bringing you tips and information and resources on how to live more holistically, mind, body, and soul. Dr. Garner, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Want to say in closing about the connection between your mental and physical well-being?
I would say that it is important. I'm just going to say it again, and I'll say it. I think I'm going to get that put on my next t-shirt, mind, body, spirit. And I do want to touch on what you talked about in terms of numbers. Don't be concerned about your weight, right? Look at how your clothes fit. That's important. The numbers that you really should be concerned about: blood pressure, cholesterol, hemoglobin A1C, your glucose, those things, those are the numbers that really matter. Because, for me, I graduated out of grammar school at 190 pounds. So I never fit in a box, right? Me and the BMI never got along. So if I looked at that, I would be depressed. But health-wise, I've always looked at those numbers. So pay attention to those numbers, mind, body, spirit, and I'm looking forward to our next conversation. And remember, it's not just for this month. This is a lifelong talk.
This is a lifelong talk. And Tyree also said, yes, Chef, bring on that salmon. So Chef Garner does an amazing salmon, couple different ways. So you guys will be looking forward to our food series. We have a lot of exciting things going on. So Chef Garner is going to be doing a food series this summer. So stay tuned for that as well. Dr. Garner, I so appreciate you joining, taking the time out. And next week we have a special guest.
That's right. My friend, our friend, a supporter of I Am That Woman, Miss Antonia Walker, who is the owner and operator of Van Cleef, will be joining us to talk about another aspect of mental health, and that is hair and mental health. I think that is an important topic because we all know the controversy around it, how we have been impacted, and it goes into how that stress, that systemic stress, can impact us. When you live in a society where it has to be legislated, you can wear your hair a certain way. That has a toll. So I'm looking forward to having her on the show and let the conversation continue.
Absolutely. I am looking forward to having Antonia on this show as well. And I'm so excited that she said she's coming to the retreat. So hopefully this week we'll see her deposit come in and we'll be able to talk to her about what to expect October 2nd through the 6th. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you. And I will see you later.
All right.
All right, we want to say thank you again to Dr. Garner for creating this entire series on our mental health and wellness. And today's show was about our physical well-being and how it impacts our mental well-being. Stay movement, stay in motion. Again, if you need a community, the I Am That Woman movement is here for you Monday through Thursday. You can work out with us and VTIT and VFit. Valerie Tyler is our fitness guru. So just contact me on social media, DM me. If you got my number, call me, text me, whatever it is that you need. We are a community that's here for you, not only for your physical fitness, but also for, of course, your spiritual and emotional fitness. So you can also join us Monday through Friday, 5:30 to 6:30 Central Time for morning mindfulness. It's just a conference call number 351-999-3566. Starting your day in prayer and meditation has shown to increase your health and wellness, your longevity, your life, how you go throughout your day dealing with stress. Come on, breathe with us. Come on and affirm scripture with us. Come on and learn how to empower your spiritual, strengthen your spiritual foundation with us. So morning mindfulness is so important. And we even practice it at the retreat. So we practice morning mindfulness. We practice physical fitness and staying fit. We practice mental and emotional wellness. We practice financial wellness. That's who we are. We are the I Am That Woman movement, all about your mind, body, and spirit wellness. Thank you for joining us today. I pray that you will look into the I Am That Woman retreat, October 2nd through the 6th. Don't forget, you can join us in St. Thomas, a journey of self-discovery in paradise. Let me tell you something. These fees are all inclusive of the retreat and your hotel. $3,500 for single occupancy, $2,850 for double occupancy. And guess what? The cost of the hotel itself, if you were to go there right now and register for these nights, would be the same rate. So you are getting a whole lot for this price. And we have so much to offer. Oh my goodness. We have 5 days of luxury retreat accommodations. We have your retreat registration, your swag bag, your welcome reception, daily breakfast and lunch, your yoga, prayer, and meditation, 8+ acclaimed speakers, 12 powerful life transformational sessions, professional and leadership development, private day tour to St. John, guided spiritual awakenings, celebration, dinner, empowering sisterhood, mind, body, and spirit, self-care, and you can have time to relax, renew, and refocus. It is a priceless experience. You get all of that for only a $500 deposit, and then you can make payments, installments. So register now, ladies. I'm telling you, we're going to sell out. So do not wait until the last minute. So thank you so much. Hey, Jewel, Tyree, Valerie. Thank you all for joining today. If I missed your name, I apologize. Thank you, Angela. I'm so excited to be here at the Trinity United Church of Christ Women's Retreat up at the Grand Geneva. We're in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. And it's been an amazing time. Got my mama up here, my 83-year-old mama, you all. She's learning how to be well. If she can, you can. So don't wait to start. Start today. Go ahead and join the I Am That Woman movement and register for the I Am That Woman retreat, October 2nd through the 6th. You all go and have a very blessed day, and I pray that you be well. Bye-bye.
This was the year to say stop, drop, and go.
Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go.
So I had to come and bring my sister with me because we both need to take care of ourselves. Amen.
Ourselves, we're not good to anybody else. If we don't fill up with what we need, then what are we pouring out into anyone else?
Looking forward to our speakers, looking forward to networking, looking forward to being with everyone at such an exciting retreat.
Learn and go through and change our lives so we can live and live as long as God calls us to live.
Let's all take a deep cleansing breath.
And so we're going to take a journey in how to reinstate the lives that God has intentionally given us to live.
I want you to really think about those things that you need to just leave behind.
Released our bodies. It made us ready for the day.
Our minds. And bring you to the E factor. Eliminate any negative thoughts. Eliminate those individuals that are in your lives that are trying to hold you back.
There's a lot of laughing, a lot of hugging, and a lot of releasing of what we don't need and being open to what we do have.
The person's here right now to help you get your money right.
It is my responsibility to teach every person I talk to at least 1% more than what they already know about wealth building.
This is a special moment.
Not only does God have you, we got you too. So sisters, we got you. And this has been an amazing journey.
Our big dance.
Powerful. All the big words you can think of, that's what today was. I am that woman.
Now I want you to take that right elbow and put it down on the knee.
This was definitely refreshing. It opened me up. I feel looser.
That is what being honest to yourself and your journey is about.
I take myself down from the dead. Oh, come on, let me put you in my car.
There's a plethora of things to do in the U.S. Virgin Islands.
So happy to be here, and I look forward to hosting it in the U.S. Virgin Islands next year.
It has been so inspiring. It was really exhilarating. Can't wait until next year. I want to be in St. Thomas, Virgin Islands.
You don't want to miss it. You want to make sure that you are there with us.
That we will be going to the USVI to St. Thomas next year at the Westin. We already have it being coordinated. Registration will be opening soon. You do not want to miss putting your deposit down and locking it in, because next year is going to be just as powerful as this year, if not even more. So until then, I love you guys, and namaste, and may God be with you.